summary of that.
Yep.
Sorry, first up, let us know who you are.
Who are we?
From.
Okay.
Right, good. My name's... See what I did?
Good.
Start again. I'm Claude, and I'm from Tikanga, Polynesia, Pacifica, and I serve as the Dean of the Cathedral.
My name's Kirstin, and I work for NZCMS, the Church Missionary Society, as the youth mobiliser. So I have the privilege of meeting lots of people and encouraging them on their walk with Jesus and the mission, participation, action that they have. Yeah.
I think that the gist of our presentation was to bring home the fact that we've got a witness, and the component of it is the gospel. And that God uses ordinary people like us to achieve the extraordinary. And so at the heart of it is the gospel. And God uses us, whatever God has placed in our hands, to make that happen.
Yeah, and that we are looking at how are we living this out, that it's not just, a theological hui is not just about ideas in our mind, but actually lead the way involves action. And so we wanted to ground them in, first it's about the gospel, that's the centre, and it's about our ordinary lives. How then are we going to live out this, how we're going to proclaim the gospel, live it out in ordinary ways in our everyday life, and know that God's Spirit is empowering and enabling us to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the thinking behind that is to really model it in what we were doing. We began with the reading of scriptures and the prayerfully reading of scriptures. We wanted to actually model it from the onset. And so we prayed about that, and we thought that would be a good way to actually start. Because I think to enable people to witness, it's got to be modeled at first.
And I think it really linked back into Acts, at the end of Acts 2, when 42 to 47, when we look at the early church and the way in which they were in fellowship together, the breaking of bread, prayer and hospitality, the faithfulness, the awe and the wonder. So we wanted to take an opportunity for action. So we had, a waiata, we had people looking at social justice. How can I address a social issue in my neighbourhood? And a prayer group crafting prayers, and then the spoken word was about sharing their story in a new way. And then we had the art as well, so people who like to engage with more creative kind of painting kind of way, that they could take away a symbol that represents something to them, or maybe that symbol was a gift to someone else for what's to come.
I've had an amazing feedback, because I think it's from one of the ladies from Taranaki, who said it's basically, this is what we're struggling with. We're struggling with trying to achieve, moving from where we are to where we want to go, with the strategies that will be put down on a piece of paper. And basically what we shared this morning, she came back and she said, this is probably the answer to what we're struggling with. And I think we've got a lot of things put down on a piece of paper, but we've got to start from the basics. We've got to go back and say we've got to start with the people and what they've got, and as opposed to what we haven't got. That for me was an insight.
Yeah, I think that you have ideas of how you would like things to go, and you never know what it's going to look like in reality. So I think that's sometimes why we don't try and do something a bit different when it comes to our events and conferences. We stick with what we know. But it was just really awesome to see everyone drawn to a particular group for one, and I had the privilege of being able to kind of walk around and listen and see, and people really engaging and getting into it, and having a chance to do something. So it was a real, I think, everyone got that sense of, I can now, there's responses here for me, but also that day 4 of how will I go back was really came clear. So that was really cool to see. I have just been really privileged to be a part of the hui, and I really have loved and got so much out of working with Father Claude. I think it's so valuable to have these kind of partnerships that you learn from and work together. And I mean, we just found one thing, it was amazing the way in which God had been preparing our hearts and speaking to us individually in the lead up, and how everything just came together, which was God's work, definitely, you know. But it's just, I think, such a privilege to be able to learn and be able to spend some time with this great guy. So.
For me, it's been and I think just sitting down there, just thinking of the preparations that's been put into this, and the intentional. I mean, the scriptures they're interwoven. And I was wondering, as I said, who put the scriptures together in that other. And I think there's a lot of work and thinking being put into it, and then God weaves those things together. And so Kirstin has just been listening, and we've been praying and said, wow, you know, that's a revelation. This is what we wanted to talk about. And in the last 2.5 days or 3 days, the Lord's confirming a lot of stuff that we had put down on a piece of paper that we weren't really sure whether that was really relevant for what we would present. Yeah, that's for me has been insight.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.